Hey everyone. You know how sometimes it feels like there's all this potential just sitting there in your home?
Mm-hmm.
Well, today we're diving deep into a way to maybe tap into that potential.
Oh, okay. I like where this is going.
We're talking HELOCs or home equity lines of credit.
Halo C's. Yeah, those are interesting.
They can be a little bit confusing, but basically think of it like this. All those mortgage payments you've been making,
Right.
all that hard-earned money you're putting into your house,
Yep.
well, that's building up your home equity. It's like you're slowly buying more and more of your home.
Makes sense. Yeah.
A HELO C basically lets you borrow against that equity, giving you access to a good chunk of change for all sorts of things.
I've had people use them for renovations, like finally getting that dream kitchen or adding a bathroom.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Or maybe even for investments, or just to have a little more financial flexibility.
Smart.
In this deep dive, we're going to break down all the nuts and bolts of HELOCs. We'll explore those awesome benefits, but also, we got to face those potential risks head on
Right. Got to be prepared.
so that you can make those smart choices, right?
Absolutely. So let's start with the basics. What exactly is a Share-a-Loci?
Okay, well, imagine this.
Okay.
You've got a credit card, right?
I do.
But instead of it being based on your spending history and your credit score, the limit on this card is actually tied to how much equity you have in your home.
Ah, so it's like your house is backing up your credit card.
Precisely. And like a credit card, a HELOC lets you borrow and repay over and over again during a certain time frame. This is called the draw period.
So it's not like you just get a lump sum and that's it.
Nope. You have this flexible line of credit that you can dip into as needed. So let's say you're finally tackling that kitchen renovation and it's going to take like 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
You could withdraw money from the HLOC in stages as the project progresses, only paying interest on the amount you've actually used.
That's pretty smart, actually. It helps you avoid paying interest on money you're not even using yet.
Exactly. And that actually leads us to one of the big perks of HLOCs. They often come with lower interest rates than other types of loans.
Oh, why is that?
Well, because your house is acting as collateral, lenders feel a little more secure.
Right, so they're taking on less risk, which means they can offer a better deal.
Exactly. Makes sense, right? Okay, so lower interest rates, that's a big plus. Now, I've also heard whispers about potential tax advantages with HELOCs. Can you unpack that a little bit for us?
Sure. So the interest you pay on a ELOC, depending on your situation and the ever-changing world of tax laws, might be tax deductible.
Okay, so come tax season, that could put a little extra cash back in your pocket.
Possibly. But this is where it gets a little tricky. Tax laws can be super complicated, and everyone's situation is different.
Yeah, that's true.
So my advice, don't just assume you'll get that deduction. Definitely talk to a tax professional. They can help you figure out all the specifics for your situation.
Always good to have an expert on your side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've been talking about all these great things about HLCs, but let's be real. There are always two sides to every coin. So let's flip this coin over and talk about the risks.
All right, flipping that coin over. Well, one thing to remember is that you're using your home as collateral.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal.
If you don't repay the loan as agreed, the lender they could actually take your house.
Foreclosure. That's a scary thought.
Yeah, it's the biggest risk you take with the HELOC. And honestly, it's a really good reminder to be super responsible when you're using one.
Absolutely. So don't just jump in without a plan. Think it through, make sure you can handle the payments, and don't borrow more than you actually need.
Right. It's easy to get excited about having access to all that cash and start picturing all the amazing things you could do, but you got to stay grounded and stick to your budget.
So no impulse jacuzzi additions just because you suddenly have the money.
Yeah, maybe hold off on that one. Another risk to keep in mind is that ELOCs often have variable interest rates.
Oh, right. I remember my parents talking about how their mortgage payments went up when interest rates rose.
Yep, that can happen with ELOCs too, which can make budgeting tricky, you know? If those rates go up, so do your payments, and you might end up scrambling to make ends meet.
Yikes, that's definitely something to consider. What about those fixed rate conversions I've heard about?
Oh, good point. Some lenders will let you convert a portion of your ELOC into a fixed rate loan. That can offer a bit more stability and protection from those interest rate roller coasters.
That's a good tip. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We know ELOCs can offer some pretty amazing perks, but they also come with some serious risks. So what are some smart strategies for using a ELOC effectively and avoiding those potential pitfalls?
All right, well, first and foremost, you got to treat a ELOC like a surgeon would treat a scalpel. Precision and careful planning are key.
So no going in blindfolded.
Definitely not. Figure out exactly how much money you need. Create a realistic budget. And for sure, factor in those potential interest rate hikes. Don't just borrow the maximum just because it's available.
Right, be smart about it.
Exactly. And another smart strategy is to shop around. Don't settle for the first interest rate you see.
Okay, so do your research.
Yeah, compare offers from different lenders, look at the terms, see what kind of flexibility they offer, check if they have those fixed rate conversion options. It's all about making informed decisions, right?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Now, before we wrap up, let's talk about something that might be interesting to our listeners who are thinking about investments. Is it true that AULCs can actually be used for investments?
You bet. If you're comfortable with a bit of risk and have a good understanding of, how investments work, HELOC can be a tool to grow your wealth.
Oh, okay, so how does that work?
Well, you could, for example, use a HELOC to fund a down payment on a rental property.
Oh.
That rental income could then help you make those HELOC payments each month.
Ooh, that's kind of brilliant.
It can be, but it's important to remember that any type of investing comes with risk, especially when you're using your home as collateral.
Right, because if the investment goes south, you could end up in a really tough spot.
Exactly. So you got to be extra careful, make sure you've got a solid plan, and never invest money you can't afford to lose.
Solid advice. Okay, so as we bring this deep dive to a close, I think it's safe to say that ACLOCs are pretty powerful tools. They can unlock some amazing opportunities, but they also require careful consideration, responsible use, and a whole lot of planning.
Couldn't said it better myself. And this actually brings me to an important question for you, our listener. Take some time to really think about this. How comfortable are you with risk? What are your financial goals? Do you feel okay about using your home as collateral? Does the HELOC fit into your overall financial strategy?
That's a great question to ponder. It's all about making choices that feel right for your own unique situation.
Exactly.
Well, a huge thank you to our expert for this awesome breakdown of HELOCs. And to our listeners, we hope you found this deep dive insightful and hopefully even a little bit empowering.
I hope so, too.
Remember, the more you know, the better equipped you are to make those smart financial choices.
Couldn't agree more.
So keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.
And always be sure to consult with those financial and tax professionals.
Yes, they can offer personalized guidance tailored to your situation. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everyone.